Hey everyone, we are doing some more bonus draft content of the Year of Modern Flashbacks. This time it's tripled Magic 2011. So it'll be nice to do a set where you don't really have to actually know much about the format. Cards that look good are good. There aren't really archetypes in most core sets. That's something I kind of miss about core sets. It was nice from time to time to just sit down and a draft to be pretty straightforward. Although I do like drafts being complicated, it's nice sometimes for things to be pretty straightforward. So I'll be back with you guys when the draft fires. All right, let's see if we can get a Titan. No, but we got Jace. That's pretty good, although he, as far as the Planeswalkers go, isn't the most powerful ever, but he's still pretty strong. I mean, he doesn't have removal. All he does is let you draw cards, but drawing cards is pretty good. Um, we have some other fairly strong cards to look at, though. Chandra's Outrage is a pretty good removal spell. This pack on the whole isn't that great, so Jace probably is just the pick anyway. Garrick's pack leader can be pretty great if you build around it from the first pack, and I mean, cards like Armored Cancrix and stuff are just, playable filler type cards. This is a really good sideboard card, of course, but nothing else in this pack really is incredible to me, so we're just going to go ahead and take the Planeswalker. Again, he's kind of a one-dimensional one, but, that's okay. Okay, well, there's a Preordain. Shiv's Embrace, no thank you. Gravedigger's always solid. I mean, a 4-mana dude who gets you back a guy from your graveyard is good. This is a nice little trick that can turn into a removal spell. Do we just want to like go full control here and take something like Preordain? I don't think so. I may just take Gravedigger. Nothing else in this spec. I mean, Volshock Berserker's fine. I don't like Shiv's Embrace or Warlord's Axe. Diminish is fine. And I mean, we could take it. It's in the color we have already, but I don't love it. Palace Guard is fine. There's just a bunch of fine cards in here. Nothing. I think Gravedigger just comes out on top when looking at all of these cards. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take him over Preordain. Leyline of the Void. Isn't that worth something? That is relevant to me. Yeah, it is. It's worth almost 4 tickets. So we're going to take that. I mean, it's a terrible card for limited for the most part, so we're not even going to play it. But when a card's worth 4 tickets and the cost of a draft was roughly equivalent to 10, you should probably take it. Juggernaut is, of course, a good card. Augury Owl's solid. Cultivate, if we want to ramp, is good. And this guy's way better than he looks. Every time he's around, he's way better than he looks. But we're just going to take the card that's worth some money, because, as I said, that is relevant. It makes sure we can draft more if we want to. I do think a key thing about drafting is knowing what cards are worth money, because the more you draft, the better you get, and the less money your drafts cost, the more you can draft. So Leyline of the Void here helps us in that respect. I could also keep it, so I have one. It's a good sideboard card for Modern, obviously. Okay, well, Azure Drake's solid. Child of Night is as well. Terramorphic Expanse can help us splash. Cloud Crusader's nice too. But I'm probably just going to take Azure Drake. Just take the flyer here. Kind of a cool card here, Sorcerer's Strongbox, but not one we want. We could end up in a deck that wants Bloodthrone Vampire, but I think every deck just wants Azure Drake, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so here we can take another Gravedigger. We could take a Bloodthrone Vampire to have a lower pick. What does this do exactly? Yeah, don't really want that. Deathmark is a really good sideboard card, and it's worth even thinking about, I think, this early, because it's a kind of sideboard card that you're almost always going to side in at some point. And Gravedigger is good, but I am kind of leaning towards Deathmark here. It's just so good against, about half the decks you play are probably going to have creatures that can be targeted by this. But maybe it should probably just be Gravedigger, though, as good as Deathmark is. We're just going to try to, get card advantage by playing stuff like Gravedigger and Jace. There's another really good sideboard card. Okay, this is a kind of a late Llanowar Elves, which is interesting. Nightwing Shade isn't terrible. And it's probably just what I take. Llanowar Elves is really good, and we could sort of take that and think about going a different route altogether. And maybe that is what we should do, since I don't love Nightwing Shade. Mana Leak's okay too, but I think I'm going to take the Elves here. see what we see. Well, nothing really. Reassembling Skeleton is kind of nice, just because it's the kind of card, it's another sort of card advantage kind of card. But I probably just want to take another Azure Drake over like Yavi Maiworm. Yeah, I'll take another Drake. We definitely need to lower our curve here. We need to pick up some 1s and 2s. Because so far all of our creatures are 4s, and we have a Jace. So, yeah, that will be important. Well, Necrotic Plague is an interesting card, but it's not. It just kind of sucks because it lets my opponent choose to destroy something. I think we probably just take Phantom Beast, which I realize is another 4, but it's a really good one. Well, we also could use something like Unsummon. Yeah, maybe we'll take Unsummon. I love Phantom Beast, but we don't really have any way to interact with our opponent yet, and Unsummon's a decent way to do that. Rotting Legion is fine. This is still around, a good sideboard card. I don't really want Armored Canecrix. Maybe I do more than Rotting Legion, though, but probably not. I'll take the Legion. Unholy Strength. No, thank you. Palace Guard's like the best card here. And that's a sad thing to say. We'll take the card that's on color. We may want to play Unholy Strength. We do have a lot of flyers after all. I think we take Unsummon number 2. We just don't get 1 mana bounce spell things anymore. Like, they seem crazy good to us now. We just don't get that anymore. Usually it's 2. I'll take a creature away from somebody, I guess. So blue seems pretty open. I'm not convinced black is ultra open. So we may, we do have this Llanowar Elves. We could think about going green-blue. Demon's Horn, if we're going up against a black opponent, is a decent sideboard card. If half of our deck is black and half of our opponent's deck is black, that is. So we still don't have any 2-drops, which this Piker would be nice to have for that. But that's okay. I mean, we'd at least have an early way to interact, which is better than nothing. Ooh. I mean, this is basically just a 4-mana 4/4 flyer that occasionally will let me do something. We can actually, there's a lot of cards in this set that allow you to scry, and they suddenly get a lot better for us. Because if we can start drawing the cards off the top of our library, that's what we want to do. It gives us yet another 4. But I think we take it. It's on color, it's strong. We just go for it. We are all about the skies right now. Okay, well, here's a 2-drop. And another Gravedigger. I don't think I want Gravedigger number 3. I may just take, sadly enough, the 2-drop here. Tome Scour. No, I thought for maybe it let me reorganize the top 5, which is now worth a little more with our Conundrum Sphinx. I think I'm just going to take a 2-drop. Doesn't feel great to do. I could take Diminish, but we're hurting for some early creatures, and this is just a 2-mana 1/3. That's all it'll really ever be. But I think we're okay with that. And another Gravedigger, an Acidic Slime. I do love Acidic Slime. Blinding Mage is very good as well. I think we probably take Quag Sickness here, though, which does make us want to play a decent number of swamps, but I think we will be. So yeah, we'll take it. Ooh, Black Knight's not bad. It is kind of hard to cast. Pacifism's really good. So here's a card I was talking about. Augury Owl lets us scry 3, which suddenly makes our Conundrum Sphinx a lot better, because we can keep track of where cards are. Gargoyle Sentinel's not a bad card, incidentally. Merfolk Spy just lets me look at my opponent's stuff. Yeah, not my own. So Pacifism's definitely the best card in this pack. And Black Knight's worth looking at. It's going to be hard to cast on turn 2 in our deck. So I'm kind of leaning just towards taking a flyer who lets me scry. I mean, scrying 3 is a big deal. Just controlling your draws like that is strong. We don't see scry 3 on a 2-mana reasonable body, especially not a common these days either. So Assassinate's solid. Phylactery Lich, that's a cool card, but it's hard to make work in a format like this. We just take Assassinate, though. More removal. We have picked up 2 2s here, and one of them I'm actually happy about. The other one's just sort of like, man, do I need a 2-drop? Okay. So this card sort of pays us off for running a lot of islands. But we have Quag Sickness, which I think is just a better payoff for running a lot of black, and I just don't know that we're going to be able to pull it off. I mean, I probably take it here. We may not end up playing it, but it's probably what I take here. Yeah. Yep. I'm going to take it. I like it more than another Unholy Strength. So, cards in our color here are pretty bad. They're both like the Planeswalker card for, I guess Jace's Erasure can theoretically. I mean, maybe we should take it in the event that we somehow end up picking up tons of card draw and we can actually mill our opponents. Especially because there's nothing else good in this pack for us. White Knight is good for someone. Plummet's a great sideboard card. Arc Runner even has a place, I think. Yeah, I think White Knight's probably the best card here. But we'll take the Erasure. I don't think we play it. It does work well with our Jace, as it should, right? But yeah, well, Flash Freeze is a strong sideboard card, and it's on color one. We could take a 2-drop, though. Do I want a 2-drop more than a... I mean, we have another pack to pick up 2s. Yeah, I'm going to take the 2-drop. I'm not convinced that was the correct decision, but it's what I decided to do. Now we'll take Blood Throne. I mean, we don't have a lot of ways to go wide, but it is yet another 2-drop for us. Does this get counters? No, just +2/+2 till end of turn. Okay, now we'll take a Diminish. I don't know if we're going to play it, but there are worse cards that we could be taking. So Llanowar Elves not coming into this thing. And it looks like black's reasonably open now, I think. Do we want to play our Leyline? I don't think so. I mean, maybe there's a... I'm trying to think cards in this set that make us want to do that. And there may be some. Ooh, I love Deathmark here. Yeah. That's better, I think, than Flash Freeze. I think. It's super good removal against the right decks. So I like our deck. I mean, so far we have ways to slow our opponent down. We can kill their creatures. We have a Planeswalker. I'd probably take Stabbing Pain, and I'd probably play it. Take this away. There is sort of like a bunch of incentives to try to be monocolored, but that's just so hard to do. We have one of them, like Quag Sickness really makes you want to be, like, it's better if you're mono black. Earth Servant's better if you're mono red. Things like that. Leyline of Vitality, I don't think that one's worth anything. We didn't get to open any Titans. Yeah, it's not really worth anything. Cloud Elemental, perfectly serviceable. Wall of Frost, though. I mean, in a world where we want to be protecting Jace, Wall of Frost may be what we want. Especially, like, we win in the skies, Wall of Frost locks the ground down. Cloud Elemental does give us another aerial threat, but I just think Wall of Frost is going to be better in our fairly controlling seeming deck. Yeah. Blinding Mage is excellent. And it's probably... Well, Chandra's Outrage maybe, and then Blinding Mage. It's close, though. Those are probably the 2 best cards. But we'll take the 3rd, 4th best card in Wall of Frost. So, Flash Freeze, Dark Tutelage. Ooh. So strong. It just draws you so many cards. And our curve right now isn't terrible. If we take that, it may be worth it to start trimming some of the things up here. Our other options in this pack are like a good sideboard card. I think we take Dark Tutelage and we think about trying to lower our curve a little bit. Bird of Paradise. Isn't that worth something? Well, there's the card that lets us scry, which is, we have a little more incentive to take because of our Sphinx, but that's worth $1. So we could have had 2 really good, we do have 2 really good green ramp cards. Or, well, we have 1 and we could have the second one. I guess I'm not definitely taking it. In fact, I'm probably not. I may just take another Child of Night, or Sign in Blood's okay. Crystal Ball. It might just be Child of Night. Bird of Paradise is worth $1, which is relevant, but not when I feel like I need to lower my curve and get as many 2s as I can. And Gaining Life also just increased in value thanks to Dark Tutelage, so Cultivate's nice. So I think ramp decks in this format could probably be pretty legitimate. Just playing something like this on turn 4 is kind of scary. So we'll go ahead, though, and take another Child of Night. Ooh, Corrupt. Here's another card that makes you want to be one color more than anything. But it's good in any deck, really. And I think it's what we take here. It is a high curve card. I think we're probably cutting Rotting Legion. 4 mana, 4/2. Whisper Silk Cloak, huh? So Brindlebore is pretty good. Here's another card that helps you hit your land drops and stuff. Cancel or Nether Horror. Thinking cancel, given the way our deck is coming together. Jace's Ingenuity. Kraken's Eye. Or another cancel. Ingenuity is expensive, so it's not great with Dark Tutelage. But it's pretty good. I think I'm going to take it. We may just end up not being able to play the Tutelage. Do like Gargoyle Sentinel here. Mind Rot's okay, but I think the Sentinel's just going to be better for us. There's another Jace's Erasure. So we did get Jace's Ingenuity. That's really our only other way of drawing cards to make like another Erasure worth it. Squadron Hawk. It's a sweet card, especially if you have multiples. We'll take a Nether Horror here. I think all of our 4-drops are better than it is. So is my mana cost, average mana cost 2? Probably don't want this. Is it too high to play Dark Tutelage? We do have multiple ways to gain life. When I say multiple, I guess I mean 2 Childs of Night and a Corrupt, so it's not like we have a ton of them. So we have 15 cards plus 17 lands. So 32 cards in our deck. We'll do 3 or less to us at least. I mean, I guess we could even think about mainboarding things that help us gain life, but man, are they crappy. Like our Demon's Horn or something. So I guess I could have taken all the Mind Rots, huh? I think I'm going to take another Harbor Serpent. Obviously, it gets really good against blue opponents, so I don't mind siding it in, I don't think. Do we have any like huge bombs we want to get back with that? Not really. I'll take this guy. And I'll take this away from someone trying to go wide. So, Dark Tutelage. It just seems, I mean, it's definitely hard to make work. Like, ideally, I think our whole curve would be like 4 or less, which I guess we can make happen, but I think we want to hold on to Corrupt. We could take out Jace's Ingenuity. But then we're left, I guess we can mainboard Diminish. Yeah, I guess I'll take another Harbor Serpent. I don't know if I want to side in 3 on the Holy Strength. Kraken's Eye. So we could get crazy here and run 1 Kraken's Eye and 1, we have the other one too, don't we? Demon's Horn? Yes. And that makes our curve lower. It gives us another way to gain life. Seems a little crazy. I usually hate mainboarding those at least. And even siding them in isn't the most common, but Dark Tutelage is just so strong. Like, drawing an extra card every turn after a 3 mana investment once is a big deal. And it's worth remembering we're going to have 17 lands in the deck as well. And we're now up to 2, 4, 5 ways to gain life. We also have Augury Owl, who can sort of help mitigate the amount of damage we take. But maybe I'm just being greedy. Like, I could just take out Dark Tutelage, and probably my deck is just going to be better if I just like run this Rotting Legion and like Nether Horror, or maybe like 1 Harbor Serpent. Probably not Harbor Serpent. Probably Jace's Ingenuity, actually. And we can still run 1 more card. I think we do want to run 1 more card. Diminish, or just like Nether Horror. It's probably just like Nether Horror. That's probably the smart thing to do. Dark Tutelage is very cool, very powerful, but if you can't keep your curve low, which we didn't do an effective job of, it's pretty dangerous. So, yeah. So I think this is our deck. It's not as sexy as a dark tutelage deck, but I think it's pretty strong. We have good removal. We have good flying creatures. We have card draw, and that's what you want. So this will be our deck. Let's sort by color, but basically even. And that's interesting. I guess it's because we have double blues all over the place, but I think we'd rather do 9/8 because of both corrupt and quag sickness. Do we want to run cancel, or do we want to put something else in place of cancel? I mean, it's fine. The problem is, though, a lot of our spells are not instants, so if we're leaving mana up, I mean, I guess we have the unsummons and stuff. If we're leaving mana up, we're not going to be able to do a whole lot, I guess, is what I'm saying. Other than cancel. So we just get, if our opponent plays around it, we kind of just get owned. But what would I run instead? Like an Armored Cancrix? Yeah, no. Diminish. I think it's just better than any of our other options. Yeah. All right. This will be the deck. I'll see you guys in the first round. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.